Hello, Krugersdorp High School learners. This is for all of the grades. So today I'm just going to be discussing literature essay. But please be patient because I'm going to do a practice one with each of you. Obviously for your play that you are reading. So this is just the general. So a literature essay is a response to the play or the novel that you're reading. You are all reading the play now. So it's a response to that play. It's not like contextual questions where they're asking you what happened, why did this happen, who is this person. They want you to really reflect on the play as a whole and answer accordingly. A trap that a lot of people fall into is they end up telling the story. So hopefully with this information that I'm going to give you now, this will not happen to you. And as you'll see in my further videos, it's on the notes on Moodle, but I'll tell you which ones to get. So the first thing you need to do when you get a literature essay is you need to read the topic and highlight the keywords. This is very important because you need to always have these keywords in mind when you're doing your essay so that you don't go off of the topic at all. So step one is you highlight the keywords and then you know that you're going to stick on the topic. Then take these keywords and make a mind map. So write them down on a piece of paper and then formalize a table or a spider diagram or whatever you like to use to plan. Write the keywords down to focus you and write down every single idea that you can come up with. Don't worry, is this fitting or not? Because when you go through your mind map, then you can wonder about that. Right. When I do a literature essay, I prefer to write the body of the essay first. So I prefer to do my arguments first. It sounds a little bit backwards, but our brains don't work the same. But I find that then my introduction is going to make more sense because, as you'll find out, you need to say what you're going to be talking about in your introduction. It's nearly like the contents of a book. So if you don't know what you're writing about, it's actually impossible to do a introduction. But if you figure out what you're going to write about already from your mind map, then that's perfectly fine as well. All right, so you need to have at least 5 paragraphs. I wouldn't really go over that, even though the word count increases as you go up the grades, because it's a magic number. 5 is a magic number. That means you've got an introduction, you've got a conclusion, and you've got 3 solid arguments in your body, which is the main part. All right, so for your introduction, what you need to do is you need to state the topic. Okay, I need to know what the topic is about, even though that is what the question is asking you. You can't just copy and paste it, so you need to reword the topic, put it into your own words, and write it down. And then after that, make sure that when you're doing that, you always mention the name of the play or the novel, and you must underline that. So make sure you do that. So that's step 2. And then step 3, sorry guys, can't read without my glasses, is you must mention your arguments. So you should have 3 arguments that you mention there. If the topic is asking you to agree or disagree, you'll also state whether you agree or disagree in your introduction as well, which is what is meant when we say state your angle. Okay, so that's the introduction. Don't worry because we're going to do them together a bit later per your grade. Then the body, guys, this is where you're going to state your arguments. So you've got 3 solid arguments, right? And you can use either the SIR method or the Peel method, depending on which one you understand better. These are detailed in the notes. But anyway, the SIR method, the S is for state your argument. The I is illustrate, and this means prove the argument that you've stated using examples of characters, themes, events, and things like that. This is where people sometimes end up telling the story. So please make sure that you don't end up doing that. And then the R is relate. So this step can become a little bit unnecessary, but if you're not confident with a literature essay, make sure you do it. You write the last sentence relate. So basically you're saying that this is how this relates to the topic. because then when you read your argument, you go, yes, I have proved that, and it is with regard to the topic. So you know you're not going off of at the deep end and telling the story or doing something else. The other method is the peel method, which I know people learn in history. The P is for point, so it's the same as state. You're making your point. You write down what the point of this argument is. The second E is for explain. Sometimes it's unnecessary. You explain what you meant in your point if it is unclear. But often the point has already explained what the point is in English. All right, so you decide if the step is necessary. The E is for elaborate. Once again, you prove your point by talking about themes, characters, events, symbols, and all things like that. Remember, again, here's the danger of telling the story. So be really cognizant of the fact that you don't do that. And then the L is for link. So again, the step is not always necessary, but it can help you. If you make a sentence that links your argument back to the topic, you can prove to yourself and the reader that this argument is proving what you're trying to prove from the topic. Okay, so sometimes it's not necessary, but it might be just a check for you. Finally, we get to the conclusion. Obviously, you can't write a conclusion first. And what you do is you sort of briefly state again what your arguments are, showing that you have proved the topic with these arguments. So you summarize the arguments and link them to the topic. And that's all you have to do. And remember when I said you highlight those keywords, why it's so important. You've used the keywords in the introduction. You've used them throughout the essay in the either state for the SIR part or the P point for the peel method. And you've mentioned them again in the conclusion. This keeps you on the topic and makes sure you write a great literature essay. So I hope when you did your summaries, you didn't only summarize plot, because that does not help you in a literature essay. You summarized the characters. You summarized the themes. You summarized the major events. Not a plot summary though. And the symbols. And you've got some quotes down your sleeve, because using some quotes in your literature essay is often very favorable for you. Okay, guys, that's a breakdown of a literature essay, and I'll be back later for a grade by grade one. So please go into Moodle and find the topic that says, or the file that says literature essay practice, and you go and download it now so you can use the video. Okay, guys, have a good day. Bye.